go. What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of our Dynasty Spotlight series here at Masters Fantasy Football. We've talked about this guy before. That's Pat Freiermuth. Now he got drafted round 2, pick 55, I believe it was, to the Pittsburgh Steelers. This was actually a pick. I thought they were going to go Kyle Trask and kind of get that long-term quarterback, but they went Pat Freiermuth, and I got to be honest, as a Browns fan, I think that scared me even more. I mean, this is a guy who, the baby Gronk comparisons have been out there for a long time. And he's not going to be a baby for much longer. I mean, this guy's entering the league. He's 6'5", 250 plus. I mean, a legit, real deal tight end. We saw, guys like Heath Miller have a ton of success in Pittsburgh. We know Big Ben's not going to be there for a while, but what do you think, Pat Freiermuth in Pittsburgh long-term tight end answer?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Freiermuth is one of those guys that I absolutely love too. In a non-Kyle Pitts draft, I mean, he'd be the number one in a lot of some of these tight end drafts we've seen in the last few years. I mean, he's that good of a player and a prospect. But, he kind of got overshadowed by guys like Kyle Pitts, and a deep receiver class kind of bumped him down, I feel like, a little bit too. But, I mean, he's the total package. He's a great athlete. Like Al alluded to, he's got those Gronk comparisons, which, I mean, now most tight ends do these days. But I feel like his have been warranted.
Yeah.
This is another one where right away he might not do as much because they still have Eric Ebron in town. They've got 3 good receivers. But I think despite all that, I mean, going forward, I really like Pat Freiermuth to be a big weapon in Pittsburgh. And I think he's going to be similar to that Heath Miller where he's just a consistent, solid tight end for like 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with the take completely. For me, in rookie drafts, mid-second round kind of is where I have him pegged. But honestly, if I needed a tight end, I wouldn't be afraid to push the button earlier. I feel like he's a pretty safe prospect. I know the hit rate on tight ends is obviously lower, but I mean, if Kyle Pitts can go at the 1.1, I don't see any reason why Freiermuth can't go the 2.1. So, yeah.
I know. I think in the draft we did, I got him at 3.1, I believe.
Wow. That's,
and again, this is a case where I feel like the fact that Ebron's there is going to knock him down a lot because he probably won't put up, start-worthy numbers his first season. As long as Ebron's there. But, I mean, looking beyond that, the fact that Juju's probably done after this season, Ebron very well could be done after this season. Yeah. Obviously, Big Ben might be done too. So there's a little uncertainty at quarterback. But, I mean, I think his role in the offense is going to be very clear a year from now, whereas right now he's kind of, it's a little muddy. He's surrounded by a bunch of different guys. But I think that role will come about next season, a season after this one. So something to keep your eye on. And for that reason, you might want to take him like mid-second, even as early as 2.1, just to take that investment because as we've seen, tight ends, I mean, it's been real hit or miss with tight ends in fantasy football. So it's a good opportunity to get a solid guy on a consistent football team. And, he might not produce year one, but I love him going forward.
All right, so now I'm gonna take your thunder, put you on the hot seat here.
Oh, no.
Got some veteran names to compare him to.
Okay.
Would you rather have Logan Thomas, who produced big time last year, sort of big time, or Pat Freiermuth?
So for me, I'm gonna go with Pat Freiermuth. I do like Logan Thomas. I do think he's a good buy low kind of tight end because he's gonna produce. But long term, and I know you've said this on shows before, but he's an older guy because it took so much time between his transition from quarterback to tight end. I think there's a lot more weapons in Washington now than there was a year ago, and there will continue to be more weapons as well going forward. So I like Freiermuth, even though he might not produce well this season. Thomas will definitely do better than him this year, I would say. But long term Dynasty, I gotta go with him. Freiermuth.
Right there with you. I agree. Now this one I think is a little harder.
Okay.
2 Penn State boys, Mike Gesicki or Freiermuth.
You know what? I'm going to go with Pat Freiermuth.
Ooh,
I like Freiermuth a lot more as a prospect than I did Gesicki. I thought Gesicki was a better athlete. I think Freiermuth's the better player.
More complete tight end for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Gesicki's got, there's a lot down there in Miami to eat into his targets as well. So I think they're going to be on level playing field, especially once Ebron's gone. And, in that scenario, I take the guy who I think's the better player, and that's Pat Freiermuth.
Sure. All right. I like that take. I think For me, that one's tough because I do think short
It's
term,
close.
yeah, Gesicki's still going to get some targets and whatnot. But yeah, I think from a pure tight end standpoint, yeah, Freiermuth's better blocker, more complete tight end. All right, last veteran I'm going to throw out there.
Okay.
I call this guy Baby Kittle, so Baby Kittle versus Baby Gronk. Robert Tonyan versus Pat Freiermuth.
If I knew Aaron Rodgers were staying in Green Bay, maybe this would be more difficult. Because I do like Tonyan. I like.
He was
what I saw from
tight end 3 last year overall.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Don't think he'll repeat, but just
he single-handedly beat me 3 different occasions.
I remember that. I remember that one.
Yeah, week. John Beese beat me with a 3-touchdown performance by Tonyan. Yeah. So yeah, that was fun. Fun to wake up to the next morning. But either way, I'm gonna have to go with Freiermuth again. Yeah. If I knew Rodgers were staying and committed in Green Bay, I'd probably lean Tonyan. But with everything going on there, I'm gonna go with Freiermuth.
Yeah, I love the confidence in Freiermuth, and honestly, I share it. And I think Pittsburgh's. It pains me to say, obviously we're Browns fans, but I mean they know how to draft these guys. I mean, like the T.J. Watts and all their recent picks that just seem like they're hits. I mean, they have some misses too, but it just seems like Pat Freiermuth's the guy who's going to be there a while. Yeah,
they're usually right on their offensive picks. Mm-hmm. As frustrating as it is.
Deontay Johnson.
If they're going to take a guy like Pat Freiermuth in the second round,
they're going to use him.
Yeah, I trust them to use him the right way.
Yeah.
Again, unfortunately, as a Browns fan.
All right, that's all I got. I know.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add, for sure.
Yeah. As always, Masters Fantasy Football, the place to play. The doc here will tell you join a new league or adopt.
Yeah, you could always adopt an orphan league. We've previous owner paid your deposit, so it's a nice opportunity to get in on the ground floor, get your feet wet. Build on a team that's already there. You can kind of make your own moves, build it from where it is up to excellence. And that's always fun to do. And you can always start your own Dynasty League as well as redraft leagues. We got them all here. The best place for fantasy football, if you're asking me. Come join the family. Come join the family. It's a great place to play fantasy football. And, I think that's all I got.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, boom.
All right.